299 in damage.
Like, that's actually insane.
That's ridiculous. Like, that's one of the best performances I think we've seen. But also, this is the guy we were kind of promised. Like, when you go back to Camo on Koi, like, we looked at that Koi roster last year, similar to this year, and went, it's not particularly good, but he was a shining star.
Yeah.
Coming into Liquid, he wasn't the shining star. Kiko had great performances. You could say the same, obviously, all the time for Nats. We're waiting to see, when are we going to get that Koi Camo? Well, today I think we saw it.
Yeah, this was an incredible performance, obviously across the board. That's why we ended with a 13-1. So yeah, there's a bit of stats padding there. If your team is rolling the opposition like that, then naturally the numbers are going to look pretty good. Now we're heading into Team Liquid's map pick. So of course the big question is, what will we see on Split? Team Liquid won that versus M80 in week 1. We saw them on you know, Astra, Fade. What else did they have? Like Yoru.
We got the Cracks Raise. Like, this is going to be a fun one. You got Zeus back on the chamber, especially starting off on that defense chance to really get aggressive in your opponent's face. And this is going to be a fun map because it's the opposite of what we've just seen. This is FUT trying to reinvent a composition that didn't really work for them.
It's the full rework. We were talking about Cracks and how he's the best on the KO, one of the best players on the KO that we've seen. And Split is a map where you usually bring a KO in. They're going KO list. They got the Sky there as the flashes. Cracks is going to be bringing the firepower with the Zeus firepower in a different way on the Senti. And then Liquid as well. They're bringing what's worked, right? They got that win 13-6 over Gentlemates. And last time FUT played, they needed a rework. They got banged 13-4 against Vitality over in kickoff. So let's see what they've been cooking, because they have to be cooking something here.
Oh yeah, we gotta eat. We gotta eat in this one if we're FUT Esports fans. So let's see what they bring to the table on Split. So for all the action, we're gonna send it over to Ahaza and Cairo.
Yeah, that's the question, man. Like, how much have FUT cooked for us? You know, are we getting an early dinner and a 2-0 for Liquid? Or is there more left on the table?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely experimentation, right? And you look towards FUT as this team that's fundamentally sound. A lot of the comps don't really go towards new metas, etc., right? But I mean, this right here, I don't even know where to go with it.
Yeah, I think the difference with this map in comparison to the previous is that now FUT are the ones with the ball in their court. It might not be their pick, but it slipped through the veto for a reason. There is preparation there. We saw how good the ante was from Gentlemates against Liquid. They weren't able to get the full value from it though. Lost both pistol rounds, costly conversions, and for anyone on Nat's watch, it is just 2 kills, so this could be the round.
Massive milestone for him to reach, but for this map, we look towards mid. For the first round, FUT taking early space towards mid, hiding behind the smoke, but Team Liquid patient with the smoke being down.
Time to jump. Camo just placing the TP. There is an aggressive crossfire held here as he'll be the first player to go through. Double clear of the smoke, no footsteps heard, and a few more prepared. Here is the fake out.
Crossfire as well to work with, but running straight back into the nade. Atta Captain takes loads of damage there.
Recovering it.
At the same time, though, Team Liquid get the space that they're looking for.
You have to wonder, are FUT going to re-clear mid later into the round? Because we've hit the 1 minute mark. You do still have Mr. Fallen operating in this area. And you look in terms of utility, he does still have 1 flash available. That drops in. Would have been heard by Nats on the way over towards A.
The fact that FUT have re-cleared that question mark in mid, now they can start to lean heavier towards one of the sides. It's going to be A. Well, Cracks is standing the test that Team Liquid put forward. An advantage with Spike down on the ground. How do Team Liquid try and rescue this from the grasp of FUT? It seems like it should be Kiko to do it. Spike on the ground picked up.
It's only going to go for a tap, trying to bait FUT back in. They don't have any extra utility to challenge him with here, but he does have a nade for a little more space.
So if he can even get a chance to use it, it looks like it's going to come down to the gunfight. Both players looking to swing and win out the pistol.
FUT's first pistol round in this series. Liquid finding both in what was a Lotus to forget. And immediately on this defender's side as well, it becomes such a priority when you want to build up your empire, expand the economy. This looks like such an isolated round when you watch it back on the replay. It's players going 1 for 1, but it's a confidence builder more than anything if you're FUT.
And you can see the interactions in mid as well, which I think was really important for that initial round, with the fact that Team Liquid trying to create that question mark, but FUT holding on to utility to clear that out. Very aggressive start from Team Liquid as they move in towards the A side, but Camel being caught by a boom bot.
Liquid just going for the direct approach. They're halted for only a moment. It's Camo's TP, which crosses the line, but FUT all ready to have bodies rotated here. Mr. Fallen uses Sky Flash and Garage right at the start of the round. You've got a trademark placed in middle as well, so there is comfort in terms of this setup, and Liquid are yet to explore other avenues.
I mean, this is something we've seen from a few teams, like just give up heaven, play towards the site. Trademark being destroyed, so it's another question mark created by Team Liquid here.
Trailblazer invested, absent from the pistol round, but now available to be used. It's time of the essence if you're Liquid. That's the only player left towards the tower. Head-to-head on Yetajay's Viper.
He has a spike.
Does have the spike, needs to win this duel. That would have been the landmark kill if he could have picked it up, but not happening. FUT erasing Liquid on this round and putting history behind them as they look forward with an in-zone flawless.
Big round to double up and the fashion in which they did, right? Now this bonus round looks so much better, and Team Liquid need to be careful about the angles which FUT can try and push themselves onto. You're looking at Zeus with a Marshall, for instance.
Yes! Let's go!
In terms of Liquid's composition and how they want to try and play this coming into the gun round, we haven't really seen the synergy tying up Kiko and Camo just yet. The one flashes that you do have, the double dive as it has been put before. Bit of variation with the Yoru, of course. It again explored, and as the fake out isn't broken, that is the trademark dispensed of.
FUT need to be more active, holding on to these angles, and well, Team Liquid looking to send it in, although they've not thought about Zeus playing from Mail, looking to try and post this one home, but instead picks up a rifle. The players don't know about his position, and Kiko walks straight into his arms. 2 entry kills for FUT.
It's constant layering of control utility in mid as well, which is keeping Liquid at arm's length as Nats just still can't find a single kill here.
It's the awareness that Liquid keep getting caught off guard by, right? Like not noticing positions that FUT could have potentially crossed to, caught off guard by off angles.
That's exactly what you're looking to try and bring to the bonus round. Some direction, something which we complimented Liquid on before in terms of
30
their
seconds
strategy,
left.
how both Lohan and Yeltsin are heavily involved in terms of the setup.
Yeah.
Nats as well. I think you're talking about a player here who is a very vocal lurker in this sense, because it's not often that your IGL is going to be pulling the strings from the other side of the map. And I think that is beneficial in some senses when you have someone like
10
Serial
seconds left.
on the Astra again, when you have that conversation about his micro and his utility. Not as much management when you're in that position. You get a wider look at things, but not finding the value from that so far. So FUT will convert the bonus and keep all of the rifles that come with it.
Team Liquid though, keeping on their hands on 2, in which they can try and make this round, or this half buy, a little bit more dangerous. You're looking at this economy state, and it's a bit tumultuous, especially for Team Liquid being on the attack. They haven't got the spike down at all, right? So that's another issue that's going to hinder their economy and moving forward into the rounds.
Vandal in the hands of Patitek here. Both him and Serial have taken the hit. They are the A players, and with the spike drop just outside it, they're kind of hoping, look, if we can win a duel, then maybe there's half a chance. Placement of the smoke means that the trademark isn't broken, so Kiko invests a blast pack, and with that knowledge in mind, FUT know that mid is overloaded yet again. Constant cycling of the utility. As soon as the poison cloud goes down, it's the dark cover that comes back up from Captain.
Locked all the way up by the wall, and Patitek, one of the few rifles, has managed to find cracks. Yetajay though fills back in the space, using their own wall to try and get onto the angle, which they'll be able to use. Now Nats moves in, Yetajay under fire. He's got 2, but giving away rifles to Team Liquid in which they can work with.
Such a big round to turn the odds in their favor. A costly conversion if they're able to do it, and Camo will add to that. Captain scurrying through ramp. Those steps should have been heard, and so Serial will ferry precious cargo over previously troubled waters, now cleared up, and Camo recollecting a rifle as well. Everyone supported, and the orb picked up just to min-max things a little further.
Audibles have been heard, that's why Camo repositioned. Kiko holding the crossfire. Worried about CT, where Captain could have went, and well, Kiko will send this one home. The Sheriff's doing the work, the Rifles chipping in. Team Liquid getting there first.
Liquid reading this macro fairly well on this round. That toxic screen that goes up just allows them to pinch the players through vents. It was a nice catch they were able to find onto Yetije. Just more individual heroics, right? I think Kiko and Camo are only seeing headshots right now. Kiko, the highest percentage of that statistically of any player other than Captain, I believe it is.
Heavier towards the B side, creating pressure in which team, FUT need to try and respond to. Still not fully committed just yet, having to use the snake bite to get some delay. Now this creates a question mark as Team Liquid move away.
Players in a dangerous position here to explode on the site. It's a slight correction. Kiko second to Sugetsu, as notorious as he has been. You're talking about a young duelist here who's already proven his worth on the role in this team, as he was last year.
FUT are doing really well to use the sky to go and clear out any space that they're worried about players to be in. Straight into the site, Kiko gets the first.
It's with the showstopper as well, so counts for nothing there as Nat crosses the threshold. It's Captain with 2 back. A 3 versus 2 situation. It favors Liquid for now.
That spike plan and the position it is in default. I mean, Team Liquid have to play on the site.
Looking to try and fight towards Garden as well. It's Kiko first contact, and Patek falling back to the pillar. Nat curious of the potential flank coming in. Kiko locking things down, and Nat getting himself yet another. That'll make it 1,501. Took him a few rounds, but he got there in the end.
Big milestone to reach. It's crazy considering how long Nats has been around. The fact he's hitting something like that. You're starting to see Liquid are really getting an idea for how FUT want to play around the map. Nice entries on towards B, cutting off rotates as well. Nats doing excellently.
I imagine he himself won't be aware of the statistic, but congratulations to Nats. Plenty of Liquid fans in the house to celebrate that, but it's cut short, of course. There's a game at hand and already into Garage.
A gift.
FUT will go. Cracks in the corner. He has a way to get out, but Zeus does as well. Here's a little easier. Kiko with the punish. Camo in behind. Liquid arriving on the B site. There's still bodies here, but they're just the next ones on the chopping block. Yetije holds, but not for long enough. And so the party is back on. Liquid in the house.
1v1. Lats is trying to see if they can go and hunt for this last remaining rifle. That economy that we were worried about has well and truly been bolstered. Mr. Fallen needs to be careful not to give away his rifle. First of those does go onto Nats. It was a strong start to the map from FUT. You convert the bonus, but then you lose that thrifty round, the eco, the half buy, whichever way you want to call it. It's a backbreaker mentally, especially when you look at how Liquid were able to convert momentum on Lotus to a point where it got out of hand completely. Yeah, and I think for me, talking about FUT and the wider kind of game plan, exactly. I mean, thinking back to the Gentlemates game, right, and the way that that happened, I personally felt as if FUT maybe got a little bit outclassed, like strategically in how they played that series, but it was the individuals that were able to carry them to the finish line. And when those individuals don't turn up, what has FUT got to rely upon to fall back on? And I feel as if right now, it's the same thing, right? Team Liquid are starting to outclass FUT in the strategic department, and the individuals aren't there to back it up.
That's the concerning part, and it's been a long-term talking point with this FUT team. You talk about it being a roster which have aspirations for being a top team both domestically and internationally, but it's not the latter without the former. They've never made a VCT EMEA Grand Final, always just held before they can make that top cut. Always another team which we see at that second Masters event of the year when you open it up to the top 3 teams. So it's not exactly like they're far off the pace, but even when you consider last year and them making their deepest run in Shanghai, you then go to Champs and it's your lowest ever placement at an international event. And that comes back to the strategic conversation when you look at some of these other squads.
100% agree, and I think for me, like, FUT are always trying to evolve, but they're not completely changing what the team looks like. It's bit by bit, piece by piece, brick by brick, and the problem is though, is we're not seeing the improvement in the server.
At its core, it's a team that won VRL finals in 2022.
Yes.
We had to get the Challengers reference in for the broadcast, but you understand it completely. Both Gaius and Sway saying their piece from the coach slot during the timeout, both with contract extensions last year. It goes back to what we're saying, that constant evolution of this FUT team.
Who's next?
Try to take a couple steps forward. Could they be put back another in the process? Liquid on the offensive. This one, the gun round. It's a dimensional drift from Camo that puts him right in front of the rest. And with the combo utility, he'll take backside control.
Team Liquid looking to back up, backfill the space that was created. His FUT immediately to fight back. An advantage in which they can trade down from. Team Liquid making their way on and doing well, or so you thought. FUT straight back into this one as the answer. Liquid's 3 in a row.
Mr. Fallen has just let the dogs out, man. The whole zoo is off the leash. Birds, dogs, it's all flying in the face of Liquid. Well, Sky, as an agent, you know, some of that utility can be a bit telegraphed.
Yeah.
It just kind of holds them there. And after that initial piece that we see come out from them, you know, the strat book, the Valor plant, whatever you want to call it, getting Camo in backside, there wasn't a second layer. It's a very straightforward response from the defenders, but an effective one.
Look towards A. This looks like a set piece here. As the barriers drop, Paranoia being held. We would have seen the Fade Prowler and the TP, but they decided to cancel it. No, straight in. I mean, it looks like FUT are just going to miss their opportunity here, although Zeus does get Camo.
And while Camo is dead, it means that Krax is actually able to just hold on to this space himself, someone that we so often see on an initiator. Now free roam on the duelist and locking Liquid in to the B tower. Up into the apartment block they go with the intent to hit the site.
It's whether you're locked in with Liquid or FUT's the one that's locked in, and it looks like it's going to be FUT that's caught. Liquid now looking to continue forward. The Viper's pit deep in. It just tries to go and catch a player off guard, which does not work out. Krax now has to try and clutch up a 1 versus 3.
You're looking for Nats here if you can find him. I mean, players are low. The nade would have been nice. There's a star on the spike, and you're out of options if your name is Krax.
Yeah, I mean,
how is he still alive?
I don't know. The fact he's decayed all the way down, it should be so easy to collect. And it is. Team Liquid making sure to keep things even.
Serial sees that one, he's like, what, for free? Easy pickup. So Liquid lock the scoreline at 4-4. And while FUT are coming on to some pretty impactful ultimates here, a pit of their own, I'm looking at that tour de force in the hands of Zeus, and I have to say, this chamber so far has been very quiet. Last time we saw it played was back against Fnatic. I think it was at kickoff. And so, it's not something he has loads of reps on, but when you talk about him as a player and that player profile, he's not like a CNED. He does like the rifle in his hands. We don't see him op all too often.
We're going to see it this round, tour de force being used to hold that line of sight from heaven. Same time though, look at Team Liquid, they're so passive in this round.
You are divided.
Dog is doing God's work at just clearing out middle. This is why you pick the Sky, you want the info. Yetajay gets it through a face check, and it's a rough procedure that he goes through. Scarred as he drops back. Zeus holding on to heaven. And that's where FUT hold on to hope. I mean, look at how late this attacking rotation is through middle.
Looking to maybe have an ace up the sleeve later into the round, but so other Team Liquid can actually hold on to the site in the meantime.
Yeah, FUT just haven't read the situation, so they're slow to re-engage themselves. This double-pronged backstab prepared, hovering above their shoulder blades, whether they know it or not. Atacaptain getting another kill in the time being, and so now the penny drops, and as Zeus swivels his head, he drops to the ground as he's filled with lead. Patitech one back, and now there's really a chance with the defuse coming in. Serial buying time, smoke to deny visual. It's a hit and hope, and those shots in the dark simply won't land. FUT restoring their lead in the rifle buy.
Yeah, I mean, Team Liquid, they build the round, right? But they're building it with a house of cards. They're trying to have it multi-layered, but it just falls flat on their face. I understand what they're trying to do. It is clearly obvious, right? But as FUT take the sight away from Liquid, they just do not have what it takes to hold on to that spike. And from there, yeah, like it's one of those things, right? Bringing it to like a Haven comparison, you never play from long if smokes are up. You don't play from far away if you know that FUT can get a smoke onto the spike.
Another purchase for both teams. This one a big swing round, not too much money left on both. But Cracks can add to the coffers a couple extra coins. And more importantly, the early advantage in this round. The information circling back to Mr. Fallen. The flash to re-engage onto Heaven and keep Liquid at arm's length.
Well, Liquid have got the space, yes, you lost Kiko. It's what a FUT's response right now. Going to clear out towards the A main side and take deep space. You should know that Liquid are still hanging around, and Cracks definitely can confirm that.
It's a scary realization, but still Liquid yet to be posted that eviction notice. And the final of the flashes coming out from Mr. Fallen, clearing towards Garage. FUT, as much as they have an affiliation with the Fade, less tools to work with now as there is the Sky and the comp, and they've not got the info.
Team Liquid running out of time. They need to commit to something, and it looks like it's the B site. A player in towards Rafters, found out, Serial gets that pick. Still though, Mr. Fallen's coming in late. He could get the perfect timing right now, and Liquid haven't thought about it. Activated at the right time. Still though, they keep their heads even. 3-3 right now.
Seeker's coming out, but no capitalization, only Mr. Fallen there. Zeus finally following it up, but a 2-on-2 situation and the rotation only coming in now.
Look at where Patitech's going, just kept in towards CT. Something to work with as FUT come into the site. A 2 versus 1 where Camel needs to stand tall and does so. Yetiji still holding on to Heaven, but as Patitech comes in, Camel clears it out, and we are still neck and neck.
But all the while we hit the status quo. I mean, this advantage is with Liquid. It's favoring them as the rounds go on. I mean, you look at the timeline, that's now 5 from the last 7 which they found, and it's another round where Camo is just laser accurate with this Vandal in his hands. I mean, look at that one tap onto Zeus. I know Zeus's Twitter app has one tap in it, but I think Camo's actually just asked him to take it out.
Yeah, mate, 100%. Well, look at this buy that's coming through from FUT right now. It's not looking good, and it's not looking good in the round either.
Yeah, this one is over before it really gets started at all. Rotations being heard by Patty, and so, I mean, Liquid are presented with options here. You can rotate back towards B, you know that the site is free. Instead, they're just allowing Patitech to take his timing, be the Joker, the backstab in play. FUT can threaten the site control with this utility though, and already that begins through Mr. Fallen.
Getting through and towards Elbow, Patitech now coming in, but Mr. Fallen has put this round on his back, and he only needs to go up against 2, so both players need to play together. And while Patitech was ready to swing off Nats's contact, that will be 6 Hazard.
It's like a one-way mirror, that spike plant, because you have this slight feeling that, okay, maybe I could stick for half here, maybe I have a little bit more security because there's no Liquid players watching, but they could be right around the corner, and that's the scary part. I mean, it's great damage from FUT on this round.
Who just walked up.
They had all angles held, as Serial says. The backstep from Patitech was brilliant as well. Now FUT doubling down on this A-hold. They have 3 players here ready to fight.
Well, you look at Liquid, they've got 5 and they're ready to send him forward with all the ultimates that they have in pocket. Don't account for Yetiji playing in the corner, and Camo so deep. To think about elbow, well they do now, after the players walk in, out of nowhere, it will be 6-6 at the half. And it is a strong recovery of the situation for Liquid, but is that going to be enough? We'll have to find out in the second half. Liquid's map pick tied at the half, and while they found both of the pistol rounds on Lotus to kick things off, FUT have their first, and if they find their second, it's going to be the second time consecutively on Split that Liquid won't have picked up a single. Yeah, that is worrying. For me, how does FUT look like on the attack, right? How do they implement this chamber in towards this map? Is that going to be the lurker? Is Yetiji on the Viper going to be lurking round? Wait to see, as it looks like the chamber is going straight to mid. Viper all alone on A side.
This is an area where Zeus can have commanding effects. Headhunter into the pistol is always a valuable addition, worth its weight in gold or credits, whichever way you flip it. Liquid on their defender's side against Gentlemates last time, they really struggled to get proactive and clear together. Group up in the latter stages of the round, and with 30 seconds gone, it's still looking all too individual. Kiko, what can you do?
Looking to play anti-flash. The flash comes through, the players don't look. Kiko with a perfect timing. It goes even all across the board.
The reason why we maybe don't see the Sky too often is so easily countered. Kiko well read, and Camo following through.
Spike noted you heard the sound cue coming through, but Camo's thinking about another peek. Flash in hand, it comes out, the players both come through. And look at this serial out of nowhere.
A different man with every passing day. Improvement series to series. And I think it's an important point to raise that first series that you see from him is never going to be the be-all and end-all. It's the second and then the third. Are you eager enough to make those developments? And in terms of the team performance here as well, I think it's so key to note that Liquid want to re-aggress mid later in the round, and they're doing it together rather than by themselves.
I mean, Nats is at the bottom of the leaderboard for this map. It's not every day you can say that.
Well, yeah, he heard that he was on for, what, 1,500 kills? And jokes aside, someone who's qualified to 5 international events, up against an IGL who's qualified to 4. But he himself, an ex-Masters winner, Nats. So those are the levels to this game that we're talking about.
Ships in the night, you look at the both players in A main and how they're right next to each other. But as the players explode in towards mid, Nats is just straight in with a triple.
And when I talk about that experience, you translate it to the round itself. Nats was prepared to turn his head and play anti there. Rinse and repeat from FUT, and all too readable, while Yetiji is going to manage to wrap around vents. This area of the map is still constricted by Liquid control.
But they're responding to this pressure. Look, they know that the players for Team Liquid are still in mid. Sorry, for FUT are still in mid. So they're going and taking B main.
They're staying active, and that's exactly what we asked of them coming into this map. The longer that FUT lie around in middle, the quicker this can become a very impactful flank rather than just a reconnaissance mission.
I think for me as well, where does Camo go here? How does he link up with the remaining players that are now in mid for Team Liquid?
It's a secure plant, safe towards the pillar. That's where FUT will go. A rifle recovered in the hands of Yetterjay. Liquid with 3 of those coming into the retake. Deep positioning Yetterjay. That's a captain trying to push the envelope though.
All 3 players for Liquid in heaven. Looks like Ata captain tries to escape. Finds something in which he can work with, but instead it's Liquid that are working with the dead body of Ata captain Yetterjay, who's been so good in this round, can't quite get anything more. And Team Liquid will convert the anti-eco.
Well, it's not the most comfortable of rounds from Liquid, despite the fact they had a killer set up in mid yet again. They do still hold on to a couple of rifles into the bonus, so at the very least you've hit that baseline. This is what I'm talking about. The cast time on the Sky Flash is one of the reasons why we saw it, you know, her fall out of favor when we had double wall meta back in 2023 with the Harbor.
You know though, like when that smokes up, you're gonna want to try and flash out, right? So Kiko playing the anti-flash is so good.
And that's just does the same.
Sorry, Nat, yeah.
Both of them. Valid conversation to be had.
How many times are FUT gonna fall foul to that position?
Oh, it's a mid-fight early. Zeus and Camo locking horns. Zeus getting the better of him, but rifle back to Nats, so no harm, no foul as far as he's concerned. A chance to add a couple kills more to the tally. He'll do it, signing off on the death waiver of Mr. Fallen. As Liquid have leverage in this area of the map right now.
FUT now, as they start to head towards a Liquid, both players, both site anchors towards this side are playing more passive, towards the back. They realistically won't get a first engagement.
And that's where we saw a masterclass from Na'Vi on their defender side yesterday. In these situations, playing super passive, just inviting the space, playing for that retake as the defenders as a group. And something else, just getting the elbow crossed. That's what Serial's going to do. Boxed in with the gravity well. But he can't capitalize, and so Patty's only got a ghost. His work's cut out for him. What are you going to do? Just fall to the ground. Very bodied in the back sight.
Toxins going up.
And now FUT have the advantage.
Advantage of time. Liquid, they don't have the advantage of weaponry though.
That's with the rifle in hand. Kiko with a satchel. A chance for him to close the gap, and if the captain can capitalize, then that's your way back through. This avenue currently guarded by just one, but it's Ada Captain that stands as the gatekeeper. FUT holding the line and bringing us right back within just the round.
Very, very close affair between the two. And again though, FUT are struggling with mid. They can't quite win this out. The re-engagement, really nice from Team Liquid.
This is another 4 versus 2 as well, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it does feel like a slight individual error from Serial. This is a conversation which I mentioned before. I'm not really sold on his Astra just yet. When it's such a micro-heavy agent and you're trying to play around with that utility, you lose the focus on your gun, right? You're so focused on all these different things, and yeah, it's only his 3rd official playing the agent. A lot on his plate. And then, you know, just swinging out solo mid-sight against the last 2 players probably not going to help, but
I think that comes down to inexperience, right? And being disciplined. Back to mid, FUT go. Look at Liquid, they've got plenty of bodies here.
Another rifle round as well. And Liquid are on their last few pennies, so this one has to stick. Nats doesn't need the rest of his team. Zeus, again, a player who just goes straight in and fights on his lonesome. With a TP, he'd feel safe, but no rendezvous required. It's Camo that backtracks after finding Yetterjay and putting them up by 2 players. They couldn't convert from this position last time. Can they do it here?
Sure, Nats will be telling the boys to be playing together. TP in towards CT. Kiko would have heard this and he knows, spot on, really go.
Last two remaining for FUT, go in towards Heaven. And now it's a 5-on-2, and those weapons are hot if you're Liquid. Ready and rearing to go. That Seize doesn't quite catch Mr. Fallen, although thought he was well within circumference. Not sure what utility Patitek had, but wasn't able to fall back on it. Instead, the support of the site players is all that he needs. 9 for Liquid. Just 4 away from securing a 2-0 and a 2-1 record in this group, which is really heating up.
Yeah, it completely opens up the group as well if Team Liquid are able to win this. We essentially go into what could be a 3-way tie if FUT were to win it.
As the timeout comes through, I think it's important that we hold that conversation for a little bit longer, because while Koi being defeated yesterday means that nobody can lock their position in playoffs just yet, it's that race for the top spot which is that much more important. When you look at the way the stage is formatted, having 4 teams from either group now as we move to a 12-team league, is that you only need to win 1 best-of-3 as the top seed to get to Toronto.
I mean, that's it, right? Like, we're starting to get to crunch time in the group stage right now. And with this being such an important game, like the top seeds starting to play against each other, there's so much importance and micro details.
And you think of the pecking order as well within the region right now. Your Heretics, your Vitalities of the world near the top end. Liquid taking that final spot at Bangkok, but then proving to us that it wasn't a fluke, that they can respond when they have a little bit more time to prepare. That's the kind of spot that FUT wanted to find themselves in.
Yes.
And now we're seeing that be usurped from them.
And I mean, you've got to remember, back towards kickoff, this was a match that in the playoffs was so important, and Liquid came out on top when it mattered. Right now, this could matter a whole bunch for qualification in towards the next Masters and for the whole group. FUT looking to be a little more direct towards the A side as lots of utilities sent forward.
But no real follow-up from it, and so they're still on square one in terms of space. That's where Liquid want to re-engage back towards the Sheriffs, and the showstopper, the perfect counter. Patitek guarding this smoke with his life as they jump into the crosshair. It's only 1 kill. Kiko, a couple back though, and that should put a bow on it for now. Double digits, ready and waiting, so long as Yetejay doesn't have anything to steal the show.
It would be spectacular.
I slipped the net.
At the same time, though, as it isn't equal, right? FUT didn't have a great buy coming into this one. Maybe you would imagine the coaching staff of FUT would be talking about the next round. That's where the real challenge comes in for FUT.
You think about the composition that they're playing here as well, bringing new ideas since the last time that we saw them here. Liquid, it being home territory for them, with it being the map pick as well. The same way that you considered, oh, what have they brought to Lotus? You're running double controller. You have the Sky for the info gathering mid-round. The Seekers have now come up as well. Zeus can maybe, you get him on a deep line early on, then you have really strong control. I think for B, for example, if Liquid aren't challenging it, which they haven't, as the round crosses the line, and that is number 10. They're going for so many direct hits, and I think we saw exactly yesterday when GX were attempting a lot of the same, how that could be so well countered when the defense is as reactive as Liquid have been.
I think as well, when you think towards last week and FUT going up against Gentlemates, FUT came out the better, right? They won out the matchup. But I think generally, in terms of the feeling towards FUT, I think they lost a little bit of stocks coming out of that game.
I would agree. Well, it feels like Liquid have improved. Still work to be done. You heard Kiko there talking about the comms. Obviously, it's a non-issue when you win the round, but still something that Lohan may be looking to address here, or it seems as if it's the players in the server that have taken the hold of this pause as the timeout had been called.
Yeah. The point I was trying to get to is that, well, those criticisms and the stocks that FUT lost, it looks like it's starting to be realised into a greater problem for them, right, coming into this game. We already spoke about how important this match is for the wider group, right? But, I mean, with the KO buff coming in, we've not seen what the implementation is for FUT and stuff like that. And this is the team that we expected to bring it forward.
Krax is playing Raze!
Hey, I know.
How often do you see him play Raze? They were running double duelist in the off-season for, we saw it at the home ground qualifier as well. It was Yetejay actually fulfilling the other role, but Yeah, it's a different look, and right now, the story seemingly that they just can't break through that glass ceiling. Group dominance would have been a step in the right direction, but FUT taking control of this game, and if they win this round, where both teams have ults, that would make it 5 out of 6 on the defender's side this time, and continue adding to that stat that we so heavily referenced on Lotus.
2 ultimates being used, one on either side. Seekers to clear out the A side as FUT are very straightforward, direct.
They're light on this push as well. I mean, it's 3 players which hit the site. You would have been going 3-on-3 in any previous rounds.
The only thing is, though, that spike plant is very open. And look at FUT, they're straight away trying to take Heaven.
Such a late rotation for those players currently clamoring through CT. As Camo is onto the site early doors. Dimensional Drift has revealed Mr. Fallen is caught. It's Heaven that you've got to be concerned of if you're FUT right now. Those are where the player numbers lie and may well go dead and buried. Kiko Camo, 1-2 punch. Double duelist getting double the action. Liquid currently in front by just a man, but that's very quickly settled as Nats has found himself up in the bird's nest, securing that spike defusal. While Zeus will walk away with a kill, he won't find the round. And it's just one weapon that they hold on to as well, so cash continues to be a problem for this attack.
And this next round is going to be a massive swing round.
Huge.
And with it being 7-11 and Team Liquid on the verge of that point, this is going to be a very tense affair.
Oh, nothing, I'm not feeling it. Great.
That's given a freebie there. That's, you know, one of the other 1,500.
Yeah,
They don't all come that easy.
definitely don't. And we've seen him come up before. Needs to come up with a good here.
It's so cheeky from Nads, and it goes completely unpunished. And as FUT continue to bang their head against the wall, Liquid do make concessions, playing from backside. I mean, Nads gives himself up in the situation as Krax lands the showstopper. Both players blind by their own team's flash. Kiko gets nothing. Liquid don't get bounced back until Patitek hits the scene. 2-on-2, and it's Serial to take the next step. 1 versus 1. Yeti round the corner, and he lands the killing blow.
I mean, that round was a bit muddy, let's be honest, right? Players falling out of Heaven, Flash is not right, not looking to the correct spots either. A good response from FUT. The thing is, though, coming into this next round, after FUT winning the swing round and upsetting Liquid's economy, it's the ultimates as well that'll be the other point to think about, right? Nightfall, Cosmic Divide for Liquid, that are a little bit more concrete.
Actually seeing a nice lineup here being thrown. Should land towards middle, and that's exactly where it will go. Trying to counter what Liquid were doing, but they're taking the fight into their own hands.
Yeah, they are. They've completely taken the space for themselves as FUT get the initial fight and win out on B. As a captain, though, he's under fire. No way to really escape. Zeus there to bail him out and gets 2.
Liquid lowered to lesser weapons after the previous. Defender economy frail as ever. So Patitek coming back into this one with a Bucky, but it's such a big round to win if you're FUT. Just to keep themselves moving forwards, 1 step at a time. The gap reduced to 2. And you can see smiles back on the faces of those players. I mean, Zeus nonchalant as ever.
Yeah, and getting through that round without using any of their ultimates as well. I mean, like you can see Team Liquid are trying to bring it down to gunfights, make it a little bit more scrappy. I mean, FUT have the better weaponry, right? So that's always going to be in their ballpark.
I don't think FUT are ever a team that you want to go blow for blow with in terms of firepower, as we are seeing this utility repeated yet again. It will land in mid and stop Liquid from contesting this one early.
They're going to be forced to respect it, although Zeus noted the main paranoia lineup to send him all the way up.
This is the tour de force. I mean, he is already nestled himself in quite nicely. Behind the toxic screen is where the captain was looking to go, but that trip's cut short. So it will be for the rest of FUT, because they've not managed to break the neck of the site and get past that initial setup.
At the same time, though, Zeus is scaling well, taking his time in doing so, being patient, and FUT are now starting to head over towards this side of the map.
And it's at this point in the round when you enter that second phase where Liquid now need to be searching for some information a little bit more proactively, because the setup does have gaps. Patatech is aware of the walk that Zeus is taking towards spawn.
Oh no. I mean, Patatech being brought to 10 HP. You've got to be looking at Camo here. Can he stand the test that FUT's about to push forward?
FUT now calling the cavalry over. The A onslaught begins with Camo caught at the back of sight. Kiko helping support. It's a layup for the slam dunk as Camo has found himself another triple kill.
He has been a real highlight for Team Liquid. Huge coming through. 19 and 14, top fragged Lotus as well.
These chaotic parts of the round when FUT show us a lapse in concentration. It's not the first time where that first point of contact is hit, and then there's a player lurking in the shadows that just steps through the veil and sends FUT the opposite way like Sirius Black.
Yeah. Now though, still Team Liquid again with these spacing of ultimates. So much online and available to send this one home. You look towards FUT and what they have, Seekers and Viper's Pit, they can be very situational.
Got your trail.
And, I mean, that's it. The hedge has been trimmed immediately by the Phantom. Those Seekers go down without all too much information.
That's it, right? Now you're trying to hope to get into a post plan to have a Viper's Pit.
Yeah. It's another solo fake that FUT are trying to play through Mr. Fallen as they group up towards Garage. Serial on an off angle, a deep angle, but he goes back in.
Oh, brilliant timing from Serial. And if they
gets the
need
reward.
Showstoppers there to be used.
There is, and this is where Liquid will then look for that set retake. I mean, right now I've got to be focusing on Nat's invent. He sits right in the middle of a couple of FUT players, whether they know it or not. It's Mr. Fallen that will go down, and now warning signs for them as they'll look to set up on B.
Now, it looks like Team Liquid are in position to send this one home in a 2-0 fashion. 5 players standing there. Yetiji looking to play upset as the ultimates come in. Ata Captain can't stand the test. Now, a 1 versus 4, which he'll have to try and clutch up. Yetiji won't be able to do it, and Team Liquid will send this one home 2-0.
The floodgates open. And while that second map from Liquid a little more laboured, this 2-0 win makes the group a lot more hotly contested. Everyone now with at least one loss. And while it's bad news for BBL, 3 teams will go to a 2-1 record.
This now starts to get very interesting across the group, right? Gentlemates have beat Team Liquid, Team Liquid have beaten FUT, and FUT have beat Gentlemates. It now goes in a 3-way tie, and it's something to look forward to, right? There's still plenty of matches to be played, 2 more weeks of games, and still this one isn't finished, right?
Liquid given their hero's moment in front of the fans, which have come out in their numbers to support. The only quiet moments were when rounds weren't going their way, but not a story which lasts for long. After a struggled first week, we're seeing strong signs from them as group play continues. We're going to be heading to a short break, but when we return, we'll have the second match of the day up for you. It's Vitality versus Heretics.